What's up, guys? Jez here from Whiskefy, and welcome to another episode of WhiskefyTV. No, bring that bad boy over here because I want to try some.
I will. It's gross.
It's But speaking of gross, Jacob's back for another week.
Like a weird, crispy bacon note to it.
Hot. I love that. This is your favourite weekly whiskey TV show where we talk about mispronounced names of single barrels that you really wish kind of didn't get released, but barrels have been set and there's not really much we can do about that now. Huh.
Yep. Are we going?
We're going.
Keep going.
Done. I'm actually very disappointed you guys didn't get the joke.
Oh,
so.
I missed it.
Yeah. It's like single barrels by similar name.
No comment?
No comment?
No comment.
No. F's in the chat. Bringing on the beautiful special guest that is... Yeah, well, you are a special guest because he died and now he has returned.
Oh, it's back.
It's back.
I watched your last episode and you were like, there's no...
I know, I missed it.
We'll bring it back.
It does. It smells tomatoey.
It smells like ketchup.
Yeah.
This is the weird juice thing that we're picturing. For those who are playing along at home.
JC,
am I coming?
Jack,
Oh,
and
right,
the bottle,
right.
and the beautiful Gloucester Lane. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, there we go. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It smells so gross.
It smells like shit.
Smell it. Just smell it.
I've always been... Ew. Green tomatoes?
It smells like shit.
It fucking smells cooked.
It's not good.
We're at 3 minutes. We haven't done anything yet, so... it tastes alright though.
You reckon?
Yeah. It tastes like Christmas Day at Mum's, when Mum's like, oh, you can't have any alcohol, but here's apple cider. That's just as good. Not sparkling apple juice, sorry. You know that, what's that fucking green bottle shit?
Yeah, the appetizers. Yeah.
That's what it tastes like.
It doesn't smell like it though.
No, it smells like green tomatoes.
Yeah.
I don't actually...
Anyway.
Yeah, tomatoes in the fridge. Yeah, that's wild. Fucking naked!
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no. Alright. Well, we have...
I thought I was going to hit that.
They nearly did.
Nearly. But... there's a bottle of Amber Lane. Now... you are on crack and duty, sir. Yeah, as I said, it's a bottle of Amber Lane Silk Road, if you guys didn't pick that up. It is... he's going to spend about 15 minutes trying to open it. It is 119.2 proof and 59.6% ABV. Age is 3 years and 3 months old, but I'll get into that in a little bit. Aussie dollars, it is 219 is what it launched for, and it's not available in the US. Cask is Nicau, or New Charred American Oak for the new people playing at home. And then it was moved to X Heaven Hill.
It's a short call.
It is a short little boy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Nobby.
They do classify this as a single malt, which is 100% malted barley as well. So, yeah, that's
all of it?
I guess that's that.
Do you have glasses lined up, or do you want me just to pick some?
Oh no, pick some, please. You're the
I'm going to go these because I like this.
They are good.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
In case
Very
there's
much.
one.
That one.
If only we had someone here to wash glasses, it'd be a really stellar idea, wouldn't it?
It would be a stellar idea, wouldn't it?
It would be a stellar idea.
Yeah. Well, I would have invited Josie over, but Josie's dead, so F's in the chat. F's in the chat. Sad
guys.
guys only.
Cheers.
Yeah. I noticed you haven't been doing cheers, but then Ollie brought it back when I was editing the thing today. So while you guys kind of wrap your heads around that, I'm going to kick off into the expression notes and info. So, breaking news, if you guys didn't catch this, Amber Lane was one of the 2,400 people that received awards.
3,400.
3,000,
Almost
sorry.
3,400.
Almost 3,400. I feel so sorry for them. But I'm glad they won an award. So they take out 2 gold medals at the San Fran, or San Fran, if you ask JC, Spirits Award in 2023. Amber Lane is an emerging Aussie distillery holed up just outside of Newcastle-ish. and only releasing their first stock recently, which is a huge achievement.
Last year, wasn't it?
Last year they opened in 2018. So Silk Road, not the dark web marketplace, in case anyone was wondering, was a historical trade route. The trade of goods has brought new ideas, and we see that in this release. So Amber Lane uses similar methods of cognac producers utilizing fresh casks and then distributing the juice into older casks. So, circling back to that, as I said, it was a Nicao to ex-Heaven Hill. It spent 14 months in the New Chart American Oak, and then spent 25 months in the ex-Heaven Hill cask.
Delicious.
So we don't know what that ex-Heaven Hill cask is. I assume it's bourbon.
Yes, it 100%
Yeah,
bourbon.
100%.
It's not corn whiskey or anything.
No, surely. Oh, it is.
I don't know.
It's 100%. It's
Fucking hell, man.
If not, this is like the best
mellow corn. you've
mellow
ever had.
corn. Like, yeah, almost together. Like mellow corn. Why not? Like,
Anyway, yeah, it's.
better JC that.
Do you have any more on the page that you're gonna read, or is that it?
That is it. So
That's
we're
it?
at the bottom.
Nose. It's
I love this release so much.
It's super bourbon on the nose. Like it doesn't.
You'd almost think you're drinking a bourbon. Like you.
Yeah. I remember trying it for the first time and was shocked how bourbon forward it was. Because bourbon casks, I mean, for those who are outside of Australia, bourbon casks in Aussie whiskey's not rare. Like it's a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
And are usually done very well when they add them. But this was just different. Like whether it was that cognac process, whether it was something else, it was just
The New Chart
felt
American Oak
big.
start is good
Yeah.
as well because it was. Who did they source it from? I remember I remember seeing it as well.
Yeah.
It's
Is it
just
Kelvin?
Kelvin. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just good. It's just. It deserves the gold medal.
I mean, if everybody else deserves gold, this deserves platinum. There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. That.
It might.
This does have a bit of graininess to it. Like I'm not gonna say that like it's not on the palate. There is some grain.
Yeah.
It is only 3 years, 3 months.
But it's just on that nose. You're getting like their distillate, right?
They have a good distillate.
Where
They have that Werther's original.
Yeah.
They have that.
Yeah.
that's what you're getting. That Werther's original and that caramel just come through, which is confusing for like my bourbon palate. I'm like, you sure this is single malt? Like,
Yeah, it's 100% malted barley.
It's just that, like, yeah, that process is just that initial 14 months has just blasted it with like intense flavour
Vanilla
that's just
caramel.
carried through. Yeah, and then putting it in a Heaven Hill cask, you know you're gonna get some good whiskey. At the end of it.
no,
For
agreed.
25 months, it's just mellowed it out, rounded that like
mellow
sharpness
corned it
that
out,
would
if you will.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, I think then it's just made this like what smells rich. It smells dense. Like it, you know, what I normally say in like Aussie whiskey is a bit more honey or a bit more floral or a bit more kind of light is the opposite. Like it's dense, it's rich, it's quite. Like I say, there's plenty of caramel, there's plenty of vanilla.
There's a lot of honey going on there too.
Yeah. I almost get like a custard tart note, like the pastry part of it, and then the sweetness,
Like
and the vanilla. Like, yours is great.
Those are really good. And that custard tart, that Portuguese tart, that
Yeah, that
It
was
is
like the
very-
char top.
yeah, the char
that's
top.
one. Yeah.
it is very much that, and the nose is very surprising. It's got that bourbon note. It's got that just heavy. It's heavy for a 3-year single malt from Australia. It is a lot heavier, a lot denser, a lot more rich than what you'd expect.
It's got this barbecue chicken note.
Oh,
No, just me. Just
hey,
on a palate.
I've not tasted enough yet.
I was just like, barbecue chicken.
the
it's
spice
just
as
me.
well. That's the thing that gets me on the nose. That's different.
No.
There's like a.
fuck you.
Is it not like?
It's got that barbecue chicken skin.
Yeah,
that rubbed.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying.
Like just cooked over coals, barbecue chicken. I'm all for it.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, maybe a little bit.
The palate is very much more, a lot more
No, very much more.
single malt,
Yeah.
malted barley in profile. It
Yeah.
still is sweet, but you still have that grain
Agree.
forwardness.
Okay.
It's still heavy, it's still rich, it's still dense for something that is 3 years, 3 months.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was over 4 because all this stuff is always over 4.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's hitting like that is surprising.
Yeah, and I think the thing that carries that's different, it's like I said, bourbon cask Australia is a common thing, but
Can't stop thinking about barbecue chicken.
it's there's a bit like the spice that I get from a not a high, like maybe I get a high rye bourbon where it's got that kick to it.
Yeah.
On the nose I get it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And
I
on the
very
palate
much
I get like just a general heat or spiciness that I get from a high proof bourbon. And it carries really well. So I think it complements that like
it sips so well.
grainy barley note that comes through.
It sips so well, it sits so well. You can have it on ice. You can have it neat. Haven't had it in a cocktail.
I imagine it makes a good one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put this in a cocktail. This is way too nice to.
I mean, you talk to the guy who's made Fanta with Pappy 15.
I made an old fashioned with Pappy 20.
Of course, you put it in a cocktail.
Yeah. I like it's
Tell us about how good your toucan cocktail was.
my 2K.
No, your toucan.
Oh my! The jungle. That wasn't good. Fuck you.
Bird.
Fuck you, Thomas. For
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Good job, Tom.
Great work. $7 cocktails all day.
Yeah, I just think like even just the idea of like a new distillery that is kind of setting this down in 2019 and thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna take inspiration from Cognac.
Yeah.
Like it's a bold move.
It is
like that 40 month could have generated a really shit hot tannic
hot
whiskey.
mess.
Yeah,
Because it's a
yeah.
full 200 litre for starters, which is good.
That's the thing that's worth calling out as well. These guys don't do small casks. So Australia has a pretty...
No, say it.
No, I mean, like
A
Australia...
horrible history of 20 litre, 50 litre, 100 litre casks. Small casks.
Archeros.
Heavily cooked.
I mean, Archeros do it. Yeah, they use small casks, which sometimes is alright, other times produces shit. But these guys don't. These guys are 200, 250. Even thinking about bigger.
300s, yeah, we saw the 300s
They've got the big
land down.
300s now. Yeah.
And
They've filled 300s. Not even landed, they've filled 300s.
And it's the who's who of whiskey, like casks for whiskey.
Yeah.
Like,
Bodegas.
unreal, yeah. Like, there's probably nobody, I mean, there's probably maybe Sullivan's Cove and a few of the bigger ones, but
Georgia.
that are getting
using
actual.
But like, you think like Heaven Hill casks, like even on that side of it,
Oh,
they're
yeah,
still
yeah.
buying premium bourbon casks.
Kelvin Cooperage.
Yeah.
Actual spending money there. Getting 300 from. I can't think of the French. Oh, I can't remember.
But we can seriously like stand around and like turn Rod into a bukkake any old day.
But I think that's the thing, like why it's important though, because I think the approach to, and it's the thing why I like these guys, like the approach to quality comes through in the whiskey at the end.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And spending the money on good casks.
Yeah.
Makes something that's as flavorful as that, and
And it's a reasonable price as well. Like we're talking cask strength, 700 mils, $219. Like you have distilleries that are pushing out about the same. Like we're going to say 2 to 3 year old stock at the $250 mark, and it's 500 mils.
Okay.
So, and they're not as good as this. They're not even close.
No, okay.
Yeah, it's just fuck.
It's got good.
It is. It's
Long I'm sitting with that. Good finish as well.
because what were they saying when we were there? Silk Road is something they're going to look at trying to.
Yeah, they've
make
got
a yearly
more.
release.
There are more Silk Roads in the works, without giving too much away, because obviously there's a lot of stuff said that can't really talk about. But it's utilising ex-bourbon casks has always been a good thing anyway. Like, you know, new
Aussie
China
Spirit
American
plays well in bourbon casks.
Well,
I do.
with
I agree.
good spirits,
That's the key.
yeah, because we can all use red wine casks and put a shit spirit in it.
But I think that's the problem we have here sometimes, is that a lot of distilleries hide their spirit with massive like with bold flavour casks. Like red wine, you've got a Pera, Tawny, your Ports and PX and everything else.
Yeah.
Like they're just they will just flatten and round out those shit notes on a bad new
They're
make.
big. They look for big fruit bombs, and it's just.
And like bourbon cask to me is a risk, especially as a new distillery, right? Like if you're releasing like as many bourbon cask expressions as Amber Lane have, with twists on it here or there, like you're showing people what your spirit looks like or what it tastes like, or
and Amber Lane does have a good.
And they're selling their own distillate. That's how confident they are behind it.
But I understand why, because it shines. And I think, like I say, if they're selling this and it's as good as it is after 3 years, 3 months, imagine what it's like in
5 years,
6
8 years,
yeah. It's
10 year.
Well, we did try a little bit of age on there, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah,
It was good.
It was good.
very good.
It was very good.
Dangerous good. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and that's the longer it sits, and like it's got the finish is there, like it carries. It's not a massively, I don't think, like punchy finish, but it's just there and it's sweet and just
It's sweet. It's
like
long. It's
fades out nicely.
It does. It's not super oily, but again, you're not going to expect that for something at 2 or 3 years. It is at cask strength, which is good. It sits well. It is a lot of weathers. It is a lot of those sweeter profile notes.
There's no oil there at all, but it definitely lingers on the palate.
It does.
Which is so interesting for something like this, right? I wouldn't be expecting it to linger. Just expected to like the finish just to fuck off just as quick as it turned up.
Yeah.
But it just holds.
There's not a lot of like high notes
Yeah.
in this. It's a lot of mid and heavier notes.
Yeah.
Not like super rich heavy notes, but it is still rich.
It's still like that. Because the thing I always get on theirs is the word that's original note.
Mm.
It adds like you just feel it. It's like, and it's the note that comes back at the end.
It does. And you know, I like that. I'll come back in, and it keeps that nice loop. For it is something that's not a one drink pour on a night. You can come back and pour a second.
I was just about to offer you a second one.
No, like I don't need it because there's more to have.
There's always more to have.
So,
But like you can sit on this on a night. You can.
It's sessionable.
It's sessionable.
Unfortunately.
It is. It's a sessionable pour, which is good. Like I've got plenty of bottles that are. You'd have one. That's enough.
I agree.
You've got
can
bottles
have
you wouldn't have one of, and that's enough.
You
You just buy it every year.
They're on the floor. On the floor.
Just every year, just gets better. Living in hope.
So I remember like when the
14 releases in, still isn't better.
I'll get there. 15, sure.
15, right? 15 is a magic number. I heard that. With their next release, it's going to be amazing.
What were we going to say?
I remember when they launched, because they launched this it was launching around the time of the Oak Barrel Whiskey Fair.
Yes, yeah.
And
Which
then
is
they did the whiskey show afterwards.
Yeah,
They did,
which
yeah.
is just a whiskey show or whiskey fair in Australia.
Yeah.
In Sydney at a retailer, and this was my pick at the time of the show.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of established bigger distilleries there showing off what they're doing. And this was unanimously agreed as one of the picks. Like it was, I think people were surprised at how good it was. Like people, I think, had heard a little bit about Amber Lane, but this just set the bar.
I didn't even think I should have brought a very specific comparison for that. Over M12.
That's, yeah, it's
And
that good. Yeah,
it is.
because that's my benchmark of bourbon.
Casks.
I like
Bourbon
over
cask, yeah.
yeah.
The
Over
12's
M12,
unreal.
bourbon cask is phenomenal. Both the cask strength and the 46. I prefer the 46 over it. I do think the 46 sits nicer than the cask strength. But this plays with that. Obviously, in that 12-year age, you don't have those grey notes, which this does still have.
Get the mouthfeel as well. That butteriness.
There is butteriness, there's a lot more oil in it.
Yeah.
But I think that plays with it.
It's going that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, the pick of the day. And I'm glad, like, coming back to it now, because it's been a while since I've drank it. Like,
Yeah.
I remember why.
It's still good.
It's still good. And like I said, I'm excited to see them if they build on it.
Yeah.
You know, that we end up with a 5-year Silk Road and a 7-year Silk Road.
Fuck.
10 years.
A 10 road.
Oh.
A 12-year.
But I believe they'll do it as well. Like they've got the casks for it, they've got the approach, the
They just don't
mindset
have the
for it.
space.
It's true. But
Expand.
They don't have the space.
No.
It's true.
That,
Like
when
the
we saw
last
that,
time, yeah.
it was full.
It's full. It is dangerous.
Stop leaving casks out the front.
Natural weather.
But yeah, I just think like that for me, their stuff, like it's just the approach to. I think in Australia we've got like a lot of distilleries that start up very quickly, and just jump from idea to bottling a whiskey as quick as they can.
Yeah.
I don't think these guys did that. Why
No,
not?
that Rod has the patience.
Yeah.
Rod and
Come on.
I was gonna say they've got. They're
Phil.
not. No, Phil. No, it was more like I was gonna say they don't have the money, but they've got
Oh, yeah.
enough money.
Oh, you know what he
they-
does for a job.
They've got enough money to support them to be able to do
Yeah.
4, 5, 6 as a first release.
You're
Like,
spot
they-
on, yeah.
Whereas a lot of them are hobby distilleries
Mm.
that go in thinking, yes, we can do this. They get to the 2-year mark or the 3-year mark, and like, fuck, got to put something out.
Yeah.
They don't have to. They do because it's good.
Yeah.
And at 3 years, 3 months, this is good. Yeah, there's still some graininess to it, but it's not a lot of graininess on the palate. And at 4 years and those older...
No, but that graininess definitely ties in, right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel out of place. Yeah.
No.
It's not offensive.
No. And surprisingly, this is one of the first Aussie whiskies I've had that doesn't taste or doesn't have that underlying eucalyptus note.
We spoke about this.
Or that ginger note. It's either eucalyptus or ginger that I get in Aussie whiskies. I don't get that here.
We spoke about that with the rye.
Yeah.
Because they're like...
Yeah,
that rye.
They're like inspiration though, right? Because like you go to Amberley and you hear the story about how it all started, and you listen to Rod talk and the inspiration from like a distillery like Springbank, and the way that they've built the still and the way that they've gone about it from the beginning. Like it's not the heritage story of a lark. It's taking inspiration from other places that are outside of it, and they would have done that too. But I feel like this is a very different starting point than what a lot of Australian distilleries come from, and I think it shows because I think the spirit's completely different.
Do we have any other comparisons? Because we are at the 22 mark.
No, I think we're good.
Yep.
I don't think this needs a comparison. The only comparison I could put it up is an Overeem bourbon cask. Joadja bourbon cask.
Yeah.
I would say
like,
the actual Starwood bourbon casks play kind of similar, but Starwood you have again a eucalyptus note to them.
I know it's not going to be close, but like at least we'll have
a comparison on the board. Yeah, the colours.
Just the colour difference as well.
Colour difference is massive.
And this is like obviously what we wanted to address, right? Like,
62.9.
It's like 14 months, and that starting.
Like, who wants to go first?
And that virgin oak cask.
Like, you have to go that.
It's a good comparison because it goes back to what I was saying about the honey, like that florally kind of note, where it's a lot more brighter.
Yeah.
In Australian bourbon cask finish, like maturations rather than this one, where it's on the other end of it.
The New Charred American Oak plays a massive flavour to this, like a massive flavour.
See, I get the eucalyptus note in that.
Yeah, this is one of the first where I don't get a eucalyptus or a ginger note, which is very prominent across the board in Aussie stuff.
They're probably about the same price too. Yeah. When you lay it up by...
Yeah, you get that eucalyptus.
That's hot.
Yeah. That's hot. Across eucalyptus. But again, I think it probably is coming off the back of something so different. Like it probably...
Like this comes up and rushes out the nose.
62.9, okay.
Compared to a 59 point...
Yeah.
59 point...
59.6.
So they're close. They're close.
We're like 3%, so... I'm happy to round that out there.
Yeah.
Like it's just like this is for me is like a highlight of last year in terms of like Australia, but whiskey generally.
Yeah.
I agree.
In I'd probably like top 5 whiskies a year for me last year is that, and my favourite Aussie whiskey release of last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it just surprised me. That was the thing that got me with
I do think I agree that this is my favourite Aussie release, and it's one of my favourite releases in general that I had last year.
Just for that shock factor, like just wasn't what I expected. And keen for more Silk Road, which I know is coming, but I don't know when. But
Patience.
I don't have patience. None of us have patience.
No, that's right. That's why we buy so many bottles. Fuck me.
That's why I have so many open bottles.
It's fine. Yeah, I mean, also. I mean, I have left, but it's still a problem.
Wrap it up there.
All right, guys. Obviously, shoot.
Sit. I said sit so many times in that, so sit.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be weird if I suddenly jump to sink. Right?
Yeah. You're like, actually, before I left, I drain poured my Silk Road. I forgot to mention it on the way over, guys.
No, it's easy sit. Yeah, it's keep an eye. Like if you see the next iteration of Silk Road,
actually, just anything from, or if you don't like that high level of cask strength, they now have released a lower entry kind of Equinox. Thank you. At what 40? Is it 48 or something?
48. It's just higher than what you'd expect. Or is it 46?
I was feeling it's like 40.
46 or 48.
Yeah,
I think it's just above. Yeah.
It's at a great price point too. It's like 130, 129. Oh, yeah.
It's a weird number, but it's a great number.
It's
It's a good number.
It's under that 130 mark, right? So that we're grateful. You necked that.
Yeah,
love it. Because I know you said you didn't like it. I'm gonna kill this shit.
That's it. Let's finish. We've got to.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is JC, aka Jack and the Bottle. Welcome back, good sir. And this is Gloucester Lane. That's why he loves you guys. So for that we're grateful. I'm Jez. Stay thirsty. Peace. We're out.
We're out.
Peace.